Hey, this is Drake here. I was going to go over a quick Rise of the Ronin Katana build. I guess you'd say it's my perfected build, the best I could get it. Now, probably it worked for any weapon. I just preferred running the Katana. That's what I've used the whole time. I've went through a few different styles. I've tried a few different weapons, but I always just seem to come back to it. But the build would be pretty universal for any weapon. And we'll just go over it quick now. All of my gear is level 110, and there goes the phone making racket. And all of it's maxed out. 110 is apparently max level until they do some sort of update for it. All right, but I'm running. You could basically run any katana, any weapon you want, but what you want to try to get on it is the set bonuses. I got the omnipresent ninja bonus here, and as you can see, I'm running 3 pieces of it, and mainly for the 15% more damage at max health. I mean, the assassination is good for, because it gives you 13% more after you perform assassination for a while. So when you're just doing level clear, area clear, and that's pretty good. It actually helps, but in boss fights, it's really a useless skill. But the 15% at max health is good, and it does stack. I'm also running the clear-headed samurai bonus here for another 15% at max health. I do like the 3% health recovery on counter sparks because, I mean, as you can see, my max life is 9,570, so 3%. I believe it gives about 250 per counter spark, so it adds up quick if you deflect the whole chain. It can really help save you. And this one also gives 10% on counter spark, so after you do a counter spark, you get 10% more damage. And we'll go over the weapons in a minute because, as you can see, we kind of built into this also. It all goes in together. For now, we'll go over. All right, I'm running 2 pieces of the handgun perfectionist for the 7.5% attack on handgun and 7.5% attack on panicked enemies. And I'm running the handgun mainly for the finishing attack because for some reason the handgun finisher does almost double what your weapon finisher will do. So if you're in a boss fight, try to go for the handgun finisher. So far, the best I've got is about 22,000 out of it, but it's hard to have everything active all at once. So I'll go over that in a minute. And I just swapped back over to using shuriken. I really love the shuriken, although when you got them active, you don't get any of your extra stats, like your Kai attack and stuff. But I love them for applying element from a distance and breaking their posture too, so you can get a final blow. They work great for that. All right, as far as armor goes, we're running 1 piece Master Strategist, and that's for the 7% on afflicted enemies. It's just that much more damage, and when you get high level applying elements, it's just it's a no-brainer. It's just extra damage or a free opening to attack. There's another piece of the handgun Perfectionist. I'm running 2 pieces of Marvelous Sword Saint here, and that's for Kai attack, martial arts Kai attack, key attack. I always just say Kai attack, so people get mad if they won't. 10% max Kai attack, and what that does is, if you'll notice that every time you deflect or hit an enemy, not only does their key go down, but their maximum does also. There'll be a little red portion, and you can get it down to where they almost have none. But after you do a final blow, it resets, but it just makes it go down that much faster. So as you're sitting there deflecting, it's basically doing double work for you. So I really like that. And like I said, the 6% on counter spark is, same. It's all just for breaking them faster so you can get that juicy final blow damage. Alright, now try to keep it short. We'll start back and go over the weapons. Now, weapons are kind of, I would say weapons, armor, there's, on each piece of your armor, on your weapons, there's only certain skills you can put on it. So what I did was try to stack into the set bonuses I already had. Like, here I'm running 5.3% on all martial skill attack, and then 10.2% on at max health, which gives us to 40.2% at max health. Another 5.1% on counter spark, so that gets us to 15.1% after a counter spark, and another 6.1% on afflicted enemies. Now this one I probably will swap out. So when I start doing some missions solo, like some of the harder solo missions, I'm going to swap that out and get a 15% solo mission. Now, if you didn't know, the solo attack only works on missions where you can pick followers. That's the only time it benefits you, so that's why I haven't swapped that out yet. This is universal. The solo attack is more for just clearing those higher difficulty challenge missions solo. This one's basically identical. Now, your weapons do not stack. The set bonuses do, but the attack, whatever skills you have, it's only the one you have, active at the moment. Same thing with sub weapons. Now, on your sub weapons, mainly you can just get Kai attack, so I try to stack as much on them as possible. More Kai attack counter spark, more martial skill Kai attack, more max Kai attack, and just regular Kai attack too. That way, as you're doing your attacks, you're just destroying their Kai, their ki. Somebody's going to give me a comment on this, I know. Forgive me, it's just how I've grown up saying it. Alright. On this, your headpiece, usually you can only do, like, additional drops. It's more of a drop and a bolster thing. That's the only skills you can spend. So, I mean, this one was just kind of on there. But I do like having the Kai Blaze duration on there. It helps a little bolster duration for sure. That's for when you apply something to, your weapon or your stats. And I like to run medicinal pill drop rates just for those missions where you're killing a lot of enemies. You just got a more of a chance that you're going to pick up some heals as you go along. Alright, on the chest piece you get mainly damage reduction. I mean, I've got your key Kai recovery rate here. Max health on this one, which this could be swapped out. I was just on the piece, so I didn't feel like changing it. Now, I do like to run damage taken for sure. I mean, why not just get 4% less damage? And I've started running damage taken from arrows and guns because, if I'm not mistaken, it stacks. So when someone shoots you with an arrow or a gun, it's something, to me, the most annoying enemies are the gun guys. When they shoot you, you're getting a 12% reduced damage from it. So that's, never a bad thing. Now, your arms are where you get most of your sub-weapon attack from. And I've got mine set up like this. Now, you can swap this for bow if you prefer to run bow, or you can swap it to shuriken if you run the shuriken. However, but just at the moment, I was using the gun for the finisher, so we stacked handgun damage. Now, the headshot damage applies to, basically bows or your rifle, but I couldn't get anything better on there, so that's just what we've got. Sub-weapon damage for sure, because that does all of your sub-attack, your guns, your bows, your handguns, your shuriken, that ups the damage for all of those. And this one is actually pretty good, and I didn't run it for a long time. It's all allies attack. If you'll read there, it says it increases attack power for you and all allies in your group. So it actually gives you an attack bonus too. Now, I'm not sure if that's only when you have allies or all the time. I haven't tested it, but anyway, it's definitely worth running. Now, your feat is more Kai attack stuff, key attack stuff. Just on counter spark, your max attack, your regular attack, and then I like to run negative status build up on it just because I do try to run a lot of elements, especially on the multi-challenge boss fights. As far as accessories, I'm running them strictly for the set bonuses, and I just made a video on how to get all these if you're interested. Check it out, but it's just to get the set bonuses. This one running just for damage taken and key consumption. And then that's just Clear-Headed Samurai, Omnipresent Ninja, and this one's the most important, the set bonus mitigation. And it just allows you to get your set bonuses for one less piece. It wouldn't be possible to put this build together without it. So, I mean, that's basically it as far as playstyle. I don't really like to go over playstyle much, but I have come to use this in the Leah style. The quick draw, the Aya, Leah, whatever you're going to call it. But I really like the move set on it, and the counter spark timing is very generous. So a lot of times it'll just save you just because it's got such a big counter spark window on it. That's it. And I'm running this as my secondary because I was messing around with Greatsword a little bit. I couldn't get it to do what I wanted to, but it's got my set bonus on it that I want. So really it worked out. And let's see, is there anything that I'm missing? That's about it, other than, I mean, items. I didn't mean to do that. Items, you can kind of run what you want. I'd always like to keep my medicinal pills. And you can also carry 3 healing elixirs if you didn't know that. So they restore like all your health, or pretty close, and your key to Kai, however you want to say it. And that's always just good to have 3 extra heals. A lot of times that can make or break the boss fight. And you can craft these at any place that you can craft stuff. You can craft them in your longhouse after you've made your first playthrough. So always good to keep those in my inventory all the time. Now in this one, I could probably remove that because I think I'm done taking pictures. But I try to keep whetstones. I always try to keep poison antidote on here too, because the poison in this game is ridiculous and it lasts forever. So you really want to get rid of poison as quick as possible. I like to keep flaming whetstone, toxic whetstone, and in my opinion the most valuable is the paralytic whetstone, because this thing is just OP, especially with the Leah quick draw, the one that sends out the shockwaves. You can almost put paralysis status on them in 3 hits with it, depending on the enemy. And I mean, I keep super anti-Kai, super power, and super Kai, super key remedy. But that's just kind of maker's choice. Those don't last very long, but they do help. So I mean, if you got them, you can use them. Why not? But it tends to be that they're hard to make. They take a lot of crafting materials, and you run out really quickly. So I tend to use them pretty sparingly. But that's about it. I thought about making a gameplay video on it, but usually I don't do that because, you know, I kind of believe everybody plays however they want to. This is just a good solid build that will carry you through almost any encounter. But that's about it. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment sections. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.